Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. And today I want to talk about the state of the gaming industry because it's a little crazy right now. Let's start off with Microsoft, and Microsoft doing what they do best, which is laying off more people. 650 more people are going to be laid off from Microsoft's gaming division. No studios are being closed, no games are being impacted as far as we can see so far, but in a memo that Phil Spencer sent out to the company employees, it's stated that this was in direct relation to the Activision Blizzard merger here, their acquisition of that, which is really such a huge bummer. 650 more people, in addition to, I believe it was 1,900 previously. We've had 2,550 people impacted by this Activision Blizzard acquisition. So since they've acquired them, 2,550 people are out without a job. And it's just crazy. Microsoft just doesn't seem to know how to make games. All they know how to do is buy things and lay people off, it seems. And I'm getting so tired of seeing it. Not to say that any other company is spotless, because Sony does this crap all the time too. But it just seems like Microsoft just continually does this. And it makes sense from a business perspective for them because they just spent, $70 billion on this company. So they're like, we got to get rid of as many people as we possibly can so we can keep the ship running. And I just think that's so miserable. Why purchase something like this if you're just going to lay off all the talent that you have? It's just such a sad thing. So Microsoft taking a big L right now. Sony taking a big L as well with the PlayStation 5 Pro. Not only is it $700, but it doesn't have a disk drive. You have to purchase that separately. The stand that usually comes standard with the PlayStation 5 base is now $30 for some reason, because why wouldn't it be? And also I've seen some rumblings that the PlayStation 5 Pro won't even be supporting 60 frames per second, that some of the things will still be 30 frames, which is, what's the point at that point? What are we doing with this console? I saw another report saying that the PlayStation 5 Pro, the reason it's so expensive right now is because there's no other mid-generation upgrade coming from Microsoft specifically. So they don't have any competition, so they're not worried about it, which I think is absolutely asinine. I can't imagine that they think that people are just going to be buying this console up like hotcakes. And if you do buy it, I'm not attacking you here. I think if you want to enjoy the PlayStation 5 Pro, go for it. Do your thing. That's 100% cool. I just think it's way overpriced and we should wait until they lower the price or do a redesign of the thing. I saw some comments in my comment section talking about how they were waiting for a PS5 Slim. We haven't gotten one. We got the PS5 Pro instead. That's way more expensive. It's not better form factor. It's the same thing. It's got 3 stripes on it. I've seen tons of memes like guy with 1 toothpick in his mouth and a guy with 3 toothpicks in his mouth for the PS5 versus the PS5 Pro. It doesn't seem like a substantial upgrade to me. Despite all the things they were touting, it seems like it's not going to be a huge deal. Now, I did say that PS5 Pro does not have a direct competitor, which is kind of true, but pretty soon Nintendo's going to announce the Switch 2. In fact, I've seen some rumblings that it could be announced this month. I don't know. I haven't seen any hard evidence or corroboration from multiple sources. So we'll just keep that grain of salt for right now. But if they do announce the Switch 2 this month especially, this could be the killing blow Nintendo needs to really stick it to everybody else. Right now, the Nintendo Switch is on track to become the best-selling console of all time, which is an insane feat since the PlayStation 2 sold so much, and same with the Nintendo DS, but it's on track to eclipse those. The Nintendo Switch has been doing phenomenally, but the Switch 2 at this point, with the PlayStation 5 Pro being such a mess right now, with Microsoft not knowing what the heck they're doing with anything in their gaming division, Nintendo seems poised to take this generation by storm. Now, the Switch was kind of a mid-generation kind of thing. They could kind of operate in between generations. So it came out after the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One had come out. It was like the Wii U was kind of part of the Xbox One PS4 generation. So the Switch is kind of an in-between. And the Switch 2 looks like another in-between. And it's going to be a direct competitor with the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, and now the PS5 Pro, because it's going to be positioned as a pretty powerful console from everything that I've seen, emulating PlayStation 4 graphics, that level of fidelity, which is fantastic, by the way. I don't think anyone is really hounding for higher visuals, and we haven't really maximized what we've seen on current generation consoles. We're not seeing the 60 FPS, we're not seeing 4K stuff, and I think on a Switch, especially on a portable screen, if you can get PS4 quality graphics, That's incredible, and I think we'll all be there for it. But even more so, if they come out the gate saying this console is going to be $400, everyone's going to buy it. Now, I think it's going to be wildly successful anyway because this is a successor to the Switch. I've heard it's going to be backward compatible. It's all but confirmed at this point. So people are going to be fiending for this console. They have a huge library of Switch games they can play on it. They can get all their old stuff and play it on this, just like the PlayStation 5 with the PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X as well. Backward compatibility is a huge thing. So the fact that they have this enormous library from one of the best-selling consoles of all time is a huge plus, and it looks like they're probably going to come out the gate swinging as well. They're closing off the Switch generation with a ton of really great games. You've got Metroid Prime 4, you've got Mario & Luigi Brothership, you've got a new Zelda game coming out. So it stands to reason they've got some other things cooking for the Switch too for their launch window if they didn't save these games for that, which is huge for Nintendo. So I think they absolutely will go with a $400 price point. If they weren't already, I think they're absolutely going to in response to the PlayStation 5 Pro. This is going to position them as like the most affordable console on the market outside of like the Xbox Series S, and they're just going to say, yeah, this is your highest quality value right here, and we're going to launch a bunch of cool games because we have a ton of IPs. Sony's been complaining about how they don't have enough original IPs to draw from, and Nintendo's like, well, I mean, you have all these things, but we have a ton as well, and we're going to showcase them. We're going to make great games because that's what we do, and I'm very, very excited for that. I think Nintendo should position themselves in a very strong spot, and I think they'll easily win this generation unless PlayStation and Xbox turn something around, because right now we're just not seeing a lot of great exclusives for these consoles. We do have some slated for the Xbox, don't get me wrong. We have like Gears of War E-Day and a bunch of others that they announced fairly recently, and I'm excited for Xbox for those reasons. I'm very excited that they have some stuff coming down the pipeline. Sony, not so much. We don't have a whole lot. Astrobot just came out. That's a phenomenal game as far as I've seen, but what else do we have slated for the future, especially for an exclusive for the console? There's not a whole lot. So Switch 2 looks poised to really take this generation by storm, and Nintendo looks like they're going to probably end up on top here. I would love to know in the comment section down below what you think. Do you think Nintendo's going to stick with that $400 price point? Do you think that's going to be what happens, or do you think you're going to be like $500 for the Switch 2? You think that Nintendo's position like I'm saying it is? Do you think they're going to win this generation? Do you think Sony and Xbox are going to turn it around? I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.